Welcome to Lifestyles of the Strange and Exotic Camera Review. Now, I've kind of been on the hunt for quite some time and have had purchased subsequent cameras in that time. A relatively decent video camera. Now, I love my flip cam. My flip cam is my buddy. And that's what I'm recording on now. I might be a little higher up because I had to adjust because I did a few book reviews on the new camera. Now, the main thing I wanted was a kitty that stays put. You're not helping, dude. Now, the main thing I wanted was image stabilization. Now, if you've seen any of my, walking vids or anything like that, there's a lot of boingy, 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 and I tried to, cut that out as much as I can, but it's kind of hard to do. So that was like a major, probably the number one thing. I also wanted a good macro, as in up close filming, where the flip cam doesn't do that. You can film maybe a foot away, anything closer than that. Like, I did a, not really a review, but a show and tell of like a collection of something I have. In just that foot distance, you couldn't see the detail. It was really kind of blurry. So there isn't really a good usable macro feature on the flip. And the zoom is okay, but not super uber wonderful. But I really don't use the zoom function all that much anyways. The only time I ever really used zoom was at a stock car race. And even then, the last time I did film it, I have a whole race filmed. I mean, not the actual race, but the whole, environment of the race. But I just, my editing software was just a pain in the butt, and, the race was took a lot less time than editing the stupid thing. So, it's in there. Maybe you'll see it eventually. We'll see. But that's pretty much the only time I ever used the zoom function. And, I like the quality of the flip cam. It's crisp without, for what I do, I really don't know if I need high super uber 3D def wonderfulness. This, I thought, was a 720p, and it isn't. It's a 640, but still the quality compared to what I had is a lot better. But if you like high def stuff, sorry, ain't getting it. But what I picked up was supposed to be a 720. So it is an improvement from the flip. Now, what I got was the Sony Handicam, obscure number something 45, DCR-SX45, and it's a digital. I also wanted an external memory, i.e. SD card. So it's sort of a flip with the flip, where I have external batteries. With the flip cam, if the batteries go, pop off the door, put in a couple of AA's, and I'm ready to go videoing again, which is awesome. That's one of the main features why I loved the flip cam. And I did a review on that, if you've seen it. And that I paid 60 something for. It wasn't like a fluke buy. I was looking for cameras at the time, but it just happened to, it was on clearance and it fit the criteria. I'm like, okay, I'll get this one, And thank you, Kmart. And I'd like another flip cam, but the only ones I can find are like over $100. And then they're only like the high def flip cam. Like I said, this one isn't. You only get an hour. This you film 2 hours with. So, but with this, you have, this type of battery, which kind of sucks. But I have found them on Amazon for relatively cheap, so not that big of an issue. But you get the external memory, so you have more, more time to babble on. I keep beating up on poor Phil. Want to take a breather there, Phil?
Yes.
Okay, Phil, gonna sit over here for a sec, because I keep smacking the poor guy. Stormtroopers' lives are hard enough. Now, I love the fact that it's so itty-bitty tiny. Now, this is actually an upgrade from my original Handicam. I'll talk about this one first. I can't remember. I don't think I actually showed this camera in the other one. Compared to the VHS version, this thing was freaking awesome. I mean, you're literally holding a brick with a VHS tape. You get great video, 6 hours worth of time, but it's like, oh, after a while your arms just numb. So this was actually a Christmas present, so this thing is probably a good 10 years old. And this is DCR DVD 108. Again, the Handicam from Sony. This is a 40 zoom, which isn't bad, and this is backwards. The only problem I have with this is the stupid interface here. This has, you still can get the discs for these, so I don't know if they still make these cameras or not, is the ability to get into the thing. Okay. Looks like I have to have it turned on to get into the disc thing. The battery, oh, okay. I don't know, will the battery work? Nope. Okay. I haven't used this in years, so the battery's just drained. I had hoped this battery would fit in the new camera, but it doesn't. This is the H series, they use the V series now. But I'm used to the interface to this, so there wasn't much of a learning curve with the new one. But this comes out like that, and you put the little mini CDs in there. If you're lucky and you can find the double-sided ones, you can get an hour's worth of video recording. But it's a pain in the butt. You have to stop, figure out a way to push this down, the handle, open up the damn thing, then put it in, and it's just a really bad, setup. Somehow they could have put the handle in a way, maybe it was a little lower. It's just not user-friendly as far as accessing the disc. That was my major problem. Everything else is pretty much the same. Can't remember. Yeah. The other problem was the this version only uses the Memory Stick Pro Duo, which are really hard to find and really kind of expensive. And this is pretty much on this used for the video, the camera function, the still photos. Now, people got to realize, you're not, unless you're paying ass loads of money, I don't know, going to get the best of both worlds in one unit. If you want to take good video, get a video camera, but don't expect it to take super wonderful still shots. Get a still shot camera for the still shots, but don't expect it to do wonderful video. If there's a camera that does both, I don't know, do tell. And it's probably a buttload of money, but for those of us ghetto who find $100 a lot of money, you're not going to get the best of both worlds. And Sony's still shots really do kind of suck. But with the new one, you can pull it straight from the video, which for me I think would be kind of easier, even though it's really quick to change from one to the other, except it's hard to remember which one you've got on. But this one actually I think they both do. A little light goes on when it's recording. My problem with this, though, how many times have I recorded thinking I was recording when I wasn't, and vice versa? Because there's no, wherever it is it tells you. Actually, I don't think it did tell you. There's no light that says it's on. Like the flip cam, there's a big bright red light right there that tells me I am on and, wasting hours of your life. So, cool thing about this, though, it has night vision. It's like, except I only use it like twice, but, it's a neat feature to have. 40 zoom, or is it 40 optical zoom? No, okay, it's 40 zoom under normal circumstances, but it goes up to 2000. Digital zoom is kind of pointless. Unless you're, a statue and don't move at all. Digital zoom's kind of pointless. You kind of need a tripod. So, nice to have, kind of pointless. It is a capacitive touchscreen. Nope. Is it? No, it's capacitive and the pressure one. It's the pressure, so the harder you press, the more it registers. So this, I think, is a touchscreen. So that technology hasn't changed much, if at all. Viewfinder, which is really kind of pointless when you're wearing glasses. Pull. Why do I need to pull? I can't remember if I knew that did that or not. That comes out for some odd reason. I don't know why. Okay, I pulled it out. Push it back in. I don't know. There's a little dooflick here. I have no idea what the heck. It's been a while. Breaking, there you go. That's not exactly easy to do. Kind of pointless. Microphone up top. Pretty standard. Nothing special. It was good for what I needed it to do. I really didn't get too much life out of it because of the discs. It's just a format that I was just never happy with. But it was a vast improvement over VHS as far as the weight. So I'm like, okay, looking into new cameras. And kind of liked this one. Now, they did have a high def one for $250. I have a love-hate relationship with this thing. This has a 70 times zoom. There's like a mountain behind us here. Standing from where I live, if there was a guy standing on top of that mountain, I could see him easily. I could zoom in on him and see him go like this. You know, the zoom on this is amazing. I haven't tried, like, again, the optical zoom, which this one goes up to 2,000 times. What the hell did I say this one was? No, it's the same 2,000 zoom. But for me, that's kind of redundant. This is a digital format, and this is good because it goes on SD card, and it's an easy access SD card, so it's right there, easy to get to. Same type of battery. You can get super battery. That'll give you more. There's what? This is a 30, then I think it goes up to 50, 70, and then 100 or something like that. So the higher you go, like the bigger the battery. So the super battery must be like that far out. Same physical setup where your telephoto zoom is here, your photo is here, your mode is here, and record is here. So, but no discs to deal with. And I love the fact that it's a built-in USB, and it's tucked into a little thing right here on the handle, which I thought was awesome. And I'm used to doing that with the flip cam I'm on, so that wasn't anything, you know. I'm looking, trying to find where the stupid, you know, USB is. I'm like, well, where the hell's the cord? Because it's like, the pictures are weird. I'm like thinking it's tucked in, kind of like the flip is. And it's just in the handle, so that was just a really neat kind of feature to have. Now, I just did a few book reviews on this. I did it in high def, which I'm assuming would be the 70p, 720. Ew. The quality was just not comparable to the flip cam, and it's in the same environment as I've just finished it, so it's the same lighting system. The images were kind of grainy. It's really annoying. I just finished one putting it on the standard play, which I think would be exactly like the flip, which would be the 620. The 6 anyway. I also did some test videos before in the other room. Now, I did do some walking, i.e. just sort of a few steps in and out of the house, and I don't see all that super difference in the image stabilization. It doesn't cut out the bounce as much as I'd like. I don't know. It was up to 10 times more steady, so I still have got to try walking, comparing the flip to this at the same time like I did with like the Funai. There was a subtle difference, so, you know, side by side recording the same thing will give me a better idea. I like the fact that it takes a lot less time to transfer this over to the computer, whereas the, you know, this version here, the software, it was like Vista for cameras, you know. It's just not necessarily complicated, but a lot more complicated than it needed to be. This is almost drag and drop. Once you figure out which program to actually use, see, they call it PMB, Portable Movie something. And the annoying thing about the program too is once you load it, it like finds every photo and video you ever made on the computer and kind of throws it in. which is good in some way but annoying in others. It's like, I just want to focus on the videos that the camera's making. But I send it to a certain folder anyways. And on that too, every time you download your videos, it saves it into a separate folder. So like I have a folder called video pieces or vid pieces. When I download anything from here, it's a folder within the folder, which is again kind of okay, but still kind of annoying too, because I kind of want them all in one piece so I know what I filmed and what I haven't filmed. I don't know. But the software in the transfer setup is exactly the same as the old version. Again, the photos are, I think, only 2 megabytes. So basically your camera takes better pictures than the, cam. Which I didn't expect anything amazing anyways, because this is a camcorder and the videos are more important than the still shots. Now, to get this to run, you just do that. Do you see me? You do have the option of actually having it, actually having to push the power button to turn it on. But I don't see what difference it really makes. Inside, you have, again, can't show you the macro too much, a power button, your play button, the light, which I'll show you shortly, and the eye auto, which everything is automatic, which is what I have it on now, just because. And this is on standard play. You can, a nice feature of this though, when you flip your video thing over, these buttons actually work. So instead of having to reach around the back to hit record, you can hit record on the screen here in telephoto and stuff like that, which is just easier to do for these type of videos. It's just really neat. But I'm used to looking straight at the camera. But when you have this flipped, I'm used to looking at me, so your eyeballs aren't looking at you, you're looking at something else off here. So that's kind of annoying. So I'll have to, if I keep this, not do that. On this, I have 28 minutes left of battery because I've been filming. And you can charge this either through an actual wall outlet or hooked up to the computer, which is really kind of neat, which is primarily how I would charge it, because it's just easier for me and everything's already hooked up. I've got a desktop here, so it's, powered through electricity. But if you do this through a laptop, it will drain your battery that much faster. So if you do charge this on computer, make sure it's an actual desktop that's plugged in. Or even your laptop plugged in. Just make sure it's got an actual steady source of electricity, because it will drain your battery. But it's a nice feature to have. Now the light, is it even on? Is a pain in the ass. That's the light. There is no night vision on this, so they give you a light instead. I'm not sure how you'd want to record with this light here. I'll turn it off. I suppose if you're going on like a cave hunting, cave diving thing, and you're exploring and you don't have too much light other than you want to zoom up close to something, it might have its uses, but for normal wear and tear type video, yeah. You can change the night balance according to the directions. Night balance, the white balance, and change the setting on that where it'll be similar to night vision, where I think it'll just sort of take the color out. There's a secondary USB port here. I just noticed that. What's this one go to? Okay, this goes to my tablet. Let's see what this does. Port that looks like that. I don't know if you can tell. So there's a port on the inside that has that sort of USB input. Now, one of the things that's really annoying about this is the motor, which when you turn it off, you can hear it going brrrr. I almost remember that doing the same thing. So it's like a Sony thing. It's like shutting down but it's really kind of annoying. And with the zoom, you get that motor sound too. It's like, and since it is next to the mic, it does pick up. Since if you hear it, the camera hears it. So, you know, if you're zooming and you want like quiet sounds, don't zoom because you'll hear the kind of annoying. With I've got a 4 gig card that I took out of the camera here that I had. This does not have internal memory. It's all external. So with the 4 gig card, I have 57 minutes of recording time, and that's on standard play. Menu. Let's see. Record mode. Long period. Lower quality for a longer period. And that doesn't tell me anything. Gives me 120 minutes. I'm still trying to refamiliarize myself. High quality is 40 minutes, but the high quality just wasn't. Record mode, so I'll go back to standard play. But it doesn't tell me, it goes 9, 6, and 3 M. So I'm not quite sure what that means. What the M stands for. I'm not quite sure what that little, it's like a exclamation mark with like a little wave on the side, so I'm not quite sure what that means either. Again, you can, you know, zoom in and zoom out with the buttons on the screen here. Oh, wide. But it doesn't seem to move as fast. Your zoom works faster with a button than it does with the touch buttons. There's a reset on here. The mode button changes it from still shot to video, and you can take a picture from the thing as you can to record. Go back to mode. What's left to really say about this? It's an automatic lens cover, where this one was a manual. It's kind of okay. I suppose you can do it. I'd rather have it stuck on the open position, so it's probably not that big a deal. If it gets stuck in the closed, you can just pry it open anyway. So for me, it's nice to have it that idiot proof where you don't, you know, why is everything all black? Alright, lens cover. Like I said, I love the macro function. You can get so flipping close, and everything will come up clear, and it does it automatically. You can have it set to. The settings on this are kind of menu. You can set what your main menu has, like the features you would use the most, which is kind of neat, like battery info. I've got like zilch of battery now. I've got 20 minutes left of battery. The sad thing on this one, though, there was a feature on this where you could kind of, let's see, put that down. I don't know if this will still work. Even when it was off, battery, and I think you need at least a little juice to see it. Or it didn't need to be on, that you could see how much battery you had. This one you actually have to turn it on. I don't know. There's very little life in this battery. Get a bigger one. That's why I didn't like, you know, the rechargeable batteries so much. It's so much quicker just to pop the door open and put in a couple of AA's. Which seem to last a lot longer. I don't know. I use the rechargeable AA's anyway. Menu. Scene selection. You've got auto, twilight, candle, sunrise, sunset, fireworks, landscape, portrait, spotlight, sports, beach, and snow. No indoor function. Candle tells you turned off intelligent auto, which is automatic, and goes takes scene without losing candle at mood. Is this a feature a lot of people's going to be using? it just seems, and the speed of the thing, it's just, I'm not impressed with the quality. I'll put it back on auto. You know, the video quality is just not up to par for what it should be. Again, you have steady shot, active. For setting it, what's standard? Oh. Exposure, auto, manual. Turn it off. Can you hear that? That happens when you turn it off. It goes brrr, brrr, which is not all that wonderful. Now, this was supposed to be, and this was rolled back from Walmart because that's the only place I could find it as cheap as it was. $149, I think it was. Rolled back from $169, which I think is where I found it other places. Except both boxes in the store were brought back. So I saved 10% because it was already, quote-unquote, an opened package. Which kind of made me like, you know. So you only have like a 14-day period to try it out. So I'm not quite sure, even if I'm going to keep it, if the quality in this... I usually try liking to film, you know, brighter during the earlier afternoon where it's nice and sunny. But it was a late start today and I just wanted to test things out. At least try something anyway. But it was a good test in the extreme conditions. And the quality of the video was just not up to par with the flip cam, which is what I'm comparing it to. I don't expect it to be, you know, anything Spielberg would use. But, you know, for $130, you want something. I do like the zoom. I do like the macro function. So, I don't quite know if it's, you know, worth the money. The light is just silly, because everybody agrees that's silly. So, if anything, I will probably still use my flip for, like, my normal everyday videos. And maybe take this out more of an outdoors thing. Really kind of hard to test now with the crappy weather, you know, in the middle of winter. They do have a high def version of this, but that was like something. It was like $100 more. Would I recommend that? I'm aiming towards the no end. Unless it's a setting I haven't quite figured out yet. This isn't great in the low light settings. I haven't really had a chance to do it in bright settings because of the weather. It's cloudy, overcast. I mean, it picks up, and the sound quality is okay. It does sound a little weird to me, but I don't know. But then again, I'm so used to the flip. If you don't have a lot of money for the high def, and you're looking for a relatively decent camera, for someone like me, this is probably, you know, the way to go. If you got a few extra bucks, probably head towards another camera. This, I don't know. I'm still testing it out, still seeing maybe if it's just the camera, why they brought it back. The reviews were okay, depending on the person, kind of, you know, what they expect from a camera. If you already own a fancy camera, don't bother. If you have a crappier camera, definitely an upgrade. But the reviews are okay. But this is sort of a middle-of-the-road camera. I'd have to kind of, if I give it like an A, B, C rating, I'd give it a C+. Maybe a B-, depending. So, still got a few more testings to go. Any questions? Do comment down below. I'll try to throw in my test vids with this and do, you know, a side-by-side shot with a flip. Comment, rate, subscribe. Thank you for watching. And if you look in Amazon, they will charge you, again, like the high-def version of this. So the cheapest you really are going to find this is in Walmart for $140. Every place else is pushing $200. So just giving you a warning there. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you all next time. Addendum to my review on the Sony Handicam, this thingy. I have just reviewed a couple of shots that I had taken filming both at the same time with both cameras. The flip cam, the video seems to be a little sharper and brighter, so in that sense the quality is a lot better. Enough that I notice it. I don't know if anybody else would bother with it, but to me I notice it. But the Steadicam feature on this surprised the hell out of me. Wow. It's a vast improvement. The settings just kind of are stupid. There should be oh, maybe that's why it worked a little better. I set it on the outside setting, which worked better indoors, but then I have the outdoor lights indoors, if that makes sense. So the brightness could be a lot better. There might be a few things I can tweak to kind of make it. I don't know if I'm going to bother with a high def. I don't know. It just seemed grainier, but I think I'll tweak it a little bit more. But the Steadicam feature blew me away, really. I'm comparing the two, and you could really see the doingy, doingy, doingy on the flip that I'm holding on now to. And it really smoothed out the pans, which was amazing to me. The true test will be in the spring, summer, fall, going on the walks to see if it really picks up crisp color. But my flip will not be far behind. So I'm probably going to keep this. I wish the quality of the video was a little bit better when it's not quite up to the flip cam standards. And that's only on 640, which is pretty much what I have the Handicam set up on to now. And play around with it more. As far as, the zoom is awesome. I haven't even bothered with a digital zoom. Just as well to get up closer. I think I've mentioned that in another review. The macro feature, the up close, I love, which is a major feature. So what I wanted it for, it does seem to want to do. I think I'm going to invest in a higher capacity battery, since it may be a higher gig memory card too. I'm on the 4, and that gives me quite a bit of memory, but I kind of like to have that little extra cushion. Better too much than not enough. So those are the two upgrades. So yeah, looks like I'll have to be getting another gift card from Amazon. I live off of those, Any questions down below? Any tips or tricks you might know about this? This is the Sony Handicam DCR SX45, and the battery is the 30, the V30. Why I'm doing this, I don't know. Probably go for the 100 or a little higher up than that. That's it. That was about as... And I tested going in dark conditions into light conditions, indoors, outdoors, walking around on a flat surface. I really don't be doing mountain climbing much, so in the areas that I would actually film, that's how I tested it. So color and sharpness goes to the flip cam. Steady shot, macro, zoom, a little more options, photo ability, Handicam. Wish it was just a smidge better in the quality, but that's about the only thing. It's not like, oh, it's horrible. It's good for what it does. Other than that, that's all I have to say. So, any info, put it down below. The only problem with this is that my arm isn't long enough not to get my entire head into the shot. This one is on standard play, medium of the road. This one is on long play, bottom of the heap as far as quality. This is on high quality, top of the heap. Let's see if this is any better. On the outdoor settings. What was it? Testing this with the output set to 4:3, not the widescreen. See if this matters.